We first met this very young activist back in 2018, and boy, has she grown up. Solange Signoret has recently been awarded a very impressive honor in our valley.
I've gone through this experience, and I've gone through bullying, and I've gone through hurtful words, and I don't want all these people have to go through it as well.
She's been raising her young voice to help others since she was in grade school. Solange Signoret is now 15 years old and was just awarded the Valley's Youth in Philanthropy Award for her tireless volunteer work with local nonprofits, including B2B.
I started at the age of 7, speaking for Prop 8 on the back of a pickup truck with the one and only George Zander. My mentor, he's the one who got me into everything, into speaking up for advocacy, into speaking up for other people's rights, and for using the gifts that were given to me to not only help myself, but to help others around me in the community.
You are really our future. Young people like you who really do have that early advocacy and really feel like they want to step up. And I know Buddha bullying is not only a passion, but you're a youth ambassador.
Right.
And that's how I met you when you were 10.
Yes.
Working for Buddha bullying, volunteering, of course.
Right.
And tell me now, I know during the pandemic it was so difficult because kids were not in school and you're used to doing school assemblies where you go and speak on behalf of
Right.
Buddha bullying. So how did you adapt and pivot?
So, well, my position in the beginning is a youth girls ambassador as well as our volunteer coordinator. I think because I was also online, it was a little bit easier for me to also be like the head person of doing these assemblies online.
And how excited were you when you found out that you had been chosen as one of the 6 honorees for Junior Youth Ambassador and Philanthropist of the Year? That's incredible.
Right. Thank you so much. I am like insanely honored. It was, finding out was insane. I think it was probably the best feeling I've ever felt because it was all those times where, I get out from school and I go to a presentation, or I get out from school and Dimitri's picking me up early to take me, or my mom's picking me up early to take me, and the times where I'd sometimes have to make up tests and stuff. It made me feel like I know what I do is recognized and I know what I do helps others. I love getting my voice out there. We all have, my mom has always told me since I was little, we all have a voice and we need to use it. And we mainly need to use it when we need to speak up for ourselves. And if we're able to speak up for ourselves, then we can use that voice to speak up for others. Because it's sometimes difficult for people to speak up for themselves. So,
well, we are so fortunate to have you in our valley, Solange, to speak up for all of those who've experienced bullying. I know it's a passion for you, and you do such a wonderful job. Thank you. Congratulations on this honor. And we're going to hear from you. I wouldn't be surprised if you're walking those halls of Congress someday as an elected official.
Or the President of the United States.
Good for you.
Hey everyone, we are back with our B2B one-on-one series, and today is such a special day, especially because I get to sit with my little darling Solange Signoret, who is the youngest ambassador that we have over at Buddha Bullying. She is our Girls Youth Ambassador. Dimitri, who's behind the camera, always likes to consider her like a little Cassie, because she's kind of like how I was when I came on, and she's so dedicated, and I know that you're very passionate about this cause, and actually, we got to meet Solange at our very first Desert's Got Talent. She was our first winner.
Right.
Yes, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And I just admire you so much. You're such an old soul, and you've done so much for the organization. She speaks at a majority of our educational programs, and we're just so proud to have her. And I'm just so happy that you're here today.
I'm so happy I'm here.
I
Thank
really
you for
am like
having
speech.
me.
I'm just so excited because, I get to speak to more so adults and people, more so adults, and it's just nice to speak to someone your age, and it's because it's really important that our youth is speaking out, and speaking their truth, and I just love that you do that, and you're a great representation of just being yourself, being your authentic self, and knowing your worth and overcoming bullying. And I know that you have told the story multiple times when you go into the schools about how you were adopted, and you have the most wonderful mother ever. I love her. Sylvia's over there sitting at the table, and which is just so ridiculous that you were bullied for that. And I would love to first talk to you just about that and the stigma surrounding, people who are getting bullied for being adopted, which is just so crazy to me because, you know, everyone,
Right.
yeah.
No, I want to say my adoption bullying started back in elementary school. And because I was so young, I think I took anything anybody said. I considered it bullying, which kind of took me a little time to be able to hear bullying and just kids being mean in general. But I definitely got hit a lot, being told that I would never be loved or I would never find
Don't make me cry every episode.
Don't know, or I would never find like a forever home and stuff like that. And oh my God, it makes me emotional. It was really difficult to not let it hit me, because when you actually think about it, like, I wouldn't be where I am today without my mom or dad.
Of course.
And, you know, with the siblings I have, and it's so crazy because my mom has fostered so many kids, like, so many kids. And it's crazy.
I think everyone winds up just where they're meant to be.
Right, and it's crazy when you actually think, like, I got to stay, you know, and it sucks have seen so many kids come and go, but I got to stay. You know, like, you're handpicked, as my dad said, to just stay. And he's always told me ever since I was a little girl that he went to some fairy garden and he saw me and he handpicked me and kept me and said, that's the one I want. And he's always told me that, and I think that's just kind of given me my confidence. Right, to just, you know what, you're never going to please anybody, which I learned from you. Actually, you said that, and I've used in every single presentation, that you're never going to please everybody. There's always going to be some people who have a problem with you or don't like you or will find something to pick on you about. So I think just ignoring everybody and actually thinking back to how grateful I am and just really being grateful.
Yeah.
Kind of kept
Gratitude
me
is so important.
going through there. And then once I, you know, found this organization, anything and everything I know of how to overcome bullying, especially my adoption bullying, has come from this organization. And watching your presentations, which I find is so funny that he calls me a Cass, because I watch your stuff, so I really do. I take it and I use it. And so when I see that, I'm like, I just used that for her presentation. So I took it.
Oh, well, that's why it's so important what we do.
Right.
Because we want to leave that mark and we want to teach and educate. And it's so important for us to be, you know, presenting these programs to our youth.
And I feel like, especially me, because I've sat through very many presentations ever since I was little. And it's very easy for somebody to sit there and talk to you about something, but it's really difficult to be able to sit there and relate to somebody when someone's talking to you. I can go and give a presentation to anybody, but not everybody is going to get what I'm saying, or not everyone is going to be able to relate to me. So I feel like just being very careful with the choice of words you use and how you use it is what gets kids to understand, you know? So definitely being very careful and
watching her to say anything. No, you just said something so important, and you know what it is? It's about being open and it's about being receptive. And a lot of times when people, shut down or turn off, I think it's because something's not going right in their lives and they're afraid to face it. And the people who are receptive, and I'm so glad that you've been so receptive to the programming, and now you hold your own programs, girl. Yes. They're people who are willing to listen. And I know that I don't ever want to come off preachy when we speak in our schools, but if you just take 1 minute, I promise you I'm not there for anything but to make sure that you lead a better life. And that's our whole goal, you know, that we can find self-love and acceptance. And that's where it all starts. That's where everything starts, is just feeling that's probably why your dad told you that, because you deserve to be told that, because feeling wanted makes you not feel isolated or alone.
Right.
And bullying happens to those who are isolated. But guess what? You have the power to not isolate yourself. So I really, really love that. That was wonderful. And I'm sure that, there's going to be so many people watching this that will really resonate with them.
Right.
We've never talked about adoption on Buddha Bullying One-on-One, and I think it is really important because it has nothing to do with the person you are. It's just, everything happens for a reason, and you will always wind up where you're meant to be in your life. You just have to open your eyes to it all and choose to think positively opposed to negatively. Because we're all just born. No one knows who you're going to be before you come out the womb. You're just a beautiful human who's meant to be here. Am I not right?
You're right.
And you will always wind up where you're meant to be. I love that. I wanted to ask you, why is Buddha Bullying so important to you? Or what was maybe, and also, what are some highlights from the organization, from our events, or from the school programming that really speak to you? Because I would love for people to just be more educated on all that we do, and you know, coming from someone who's seen the presentation, put on the presentation, and has been at all of our events, and so incredibly supportive and amazing to you. You have the
Well,
best
I
spirit.
love it. I have, like I said, I want to say I got this passion because it's crazy thinking back, because it never hit me till right now, that while I was sitting in one of the presentations, and it was actually about bullying, and I was being bullied at the time, and I remember someone sitting there talking to me, and she made eye contact with me while she was giving the presentation. And my mom always says everything happens for a reason. So it's just the way she looked at me. In that exact moment, I felt like I can't wait till the day that I'm on a stage and I'm doing exactly what she was doing. And next thing I knew, it's crazy because it just hits me right now. And next thing I knew, now I'm on a stage giving a presentation to so many kids about the same thing that I sat through and watched.
Yeah.
You know, and I think because I did experience bullying, you know, from my color of skin, from the background I come from, because I am adopted, and just because I'm a very overjoyful and confident person, that I don't let negativity get to me as much as I did. And even if I do, I try to keep it, you know, not so where everyone else can see. Because I don't like.
Well, misery needs company. So
Right.
bullies will come for the happy people.
Right.
And we're like, nope.
Stay away.
Well, you just said something really important, because what that is, that's why it's so important to vocalize things. That's why I know it's hard, guys. I know it's really hard to just speak your truth, to speak your mind, to speak what's going on inside. But like I've said a million times before, there are billions of people on this planet, and there is nobody that hasn't gone through something, whatever it is that you may be going through, whatever, I always say, like the weirdest thought or the craziest feeling or just the worst situation or scenario, someone has been there. You're not alone. We're human beings, you know what I mean? And we're emotional creatures, and if we don't talk about things, we don't realize, you know, what we're going through, or we don't come to like really important realizations in our life, like you just did just now.
And you can't
in this
get
moment.
the help you need if you're
You
not
just proved
being
it.
vocal.
You're like, oh, I just realized in this moment. So if you're not, that's a perfect example that if you're not getting things out of your body and speaking your truth and everything that's on your mind, then you're going to internalize it, and that's going to bottle up and turn into hate or retaliation, and it's never a good thing. So I'm so happy that you realized that, and also that you manifested that.
Right.
In that moment, what you did, you know, having that mindset of, first of all, feeling that wonderful energy, it's so important for us when we're giving our speeches to really connect to everyone, you know, and to act and to be genuine in what we're trying to deliver.
Right.
And people feel that. You felt that. And it inspired you so much that you manifested that. And that's why you were on that stage. It's true.
Right.
Manifestation is a real thing, and our mindsets, it's so important, because if you guys don't know, law of attraction, that's my thing. So I love The Secret. You can watch the documentary, you can read the book. There are so many other versions just like that. But it is law of attraction, and that's everything we I don't like to use the word preach. That's what we speak, because you can do anything you put your mind to, and you can not control, but you can allow things to you can make sure that things don't get to you.
Right.
If you put out a certain mindset, and if you're secure with who you are, in which everyone should, the good, the bad, the ugly. We've all got it. We've all got the good, the bad, the ugly. You know what I mean?
We do.
So it's about learning, okay, I want to appreciate the good. This is amazing. I want to honor myself for it. I don't tell myself, good job enough. Do it. You deserve it. Hug yourself. You deserve it. We don't tell ourselves enough, like, okay, this is bad, but that's okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it away, right? You don't have to keep it. You don't have to keep the bad, but life is a gift. It's a gift, and it is how you preserve it, and manifestation and positive thoughts and good energy is literally the key. That's it.
And it's insane that it just came to me, because I never realized that until...
It's not insane.
Until I was talking about it, I was like, I really did sit through that presentation. I was being bullied from this girl, and it was... And she, you know, she was much smaller than me, and she was a more shy person. She was like one of those shy people you would never expect to be a bully. And I didn't expect it from her. But when I started getting it, and I think that was the first day that she really said some stuff about myself and my family that hit me. So upset, but I didn't explode. I was working on not exploding on people. So then when I did sit there with that presentation, I was like, I want to do that. Like, and it was crazy watching her because I could see all the other kids in the audience. You wanted to do it because she
made you feel so special that you wanted to be able to make other people feel that way.
Right, and so everybody else in the audience was like not listening and completely ignoring her. And I was like, you guys need to, like, she's speaking real stuff. Like, it's insane what people go through. And like you said, how we're not alone. Even if I know several times where I've been through things and I felt like, why me? Why does it happen to me? How come nobody else is going through this but just me? And then I sit and realize that, you know, there's so many other people who have gone through it. Even my mom, you know.
Absolutely. I speak this daily, and I'm very intentional about my thoughts and my feelings and practicing just positive thinking, and I still feel that way. I still feel that way. We're human beings. That's at the end of the day, we're human beings. But just remembering in those moments that, and I remember I'm not alone, even if it still sometimes feels that way. Even at my age, even today, no matter how many of these programs I've done, we're human. And every day's a new day, and you're going to have new experiences. And don't ever feel like it's a step backwards. It's not, because you've been through all of this already. It's there. No matter what, you've done it, you've been through it, it didn't go anywhere. It's just that sometimes we do take a step back, and that's life. And it's okay to take a step back sometimes. Like, it happens. It's just a way to just regroup and push 10 times that pace forward, right?
Yeah.
So I'm so happy you brought that up. I just think, you know, like you said, that's another thing. The fact that people weren't listening, I don't know why. I mean, Dimitri talk about this often, and I'm sure you do too with him, like, why it's cool to rebel against some of these programs. And I think when people really open their ears, we actually do change a lot of people's minds, because they see that we're being genuine and real. Because a lot of times people go in and maybe I don't want to put people down, but maybe it is a job or it becomes redundant. Mm-hmm. But when we go in there, I like to think that our Buddha bullying family really speaks from the heart.
Oh yeah.
And personal experiences and the raw and the real. And if people can just open their ears and their eyes for 1 second, it can really be life-changing for them. That's why we do it. We don't do it for us.
No.
We do this stuff when we're together alone. Mm-hmm. We don't do the programming for us. We do it for them. And if they can just take a moment to really listen, I think they'd be really surprised what it could do for them. It's not cool to rebel, guys. It's not cool. Isn't it cool to be happy? I think being happy feels pretty damn good.
Right. And I think why our family just, you know, speaks so much from the heart is because I know I'm very young. And I know there's probably bullying or things I will face as I get older. But I have you guys help me through it. But I feel like why we do speak from the heart so much is because we've been there.
Yeah.
You know, and with each other, we've given each other tools to overcome it.
Yeah.
And now we're trying to help everybody else, whether they're going through it, about to go through it, have been through it. You know, we're trying to help them so it's not as bad as it could be.
Right.
Without them saying anything and without them feeling like if I say something, it's going to get worse. Or if I don't say something, it's going to get even more worse.
Right.
You know, so I feel like the reason why we do speak so much from the heart is because we've been there. And I feel like that's so cheesy to say sometimes.
No, it's not.
But we've been there, you know, and we've overcome it. And I have the tools. You have the tools. I take the tools from you. I mean,
the tool is this right here, speaking about it.
Exactly.
It's a tool. It's human interaction. Mm-hmm. It's being honest. The bravest thing you can do is to be vulnerable.
Oh, yeah.
It's the bravest thing anyone can do. And when you own it, when you own anything that you want to be, nothing else matters.
No.
Nothing. When you own it. And I think that you really own it. And I think that I'm just so grateful for all of your hard work and everything you've done for the organization. We just love you so much. We really do. We're so grateful to have such an incredible Buddha bullying family. All ages, all races, LGBTQIA+ community. We are so, which is so important to us. Just being allies with every race and every type of person it's amazing. It feels so good. I love it. It makes me feel so much more enriched just having so many beautiful people in my life.
And so much positivity.
Yeah, such a colorful, positive
group. Yeah. It makes me feel so good.
We'll tell you firsthand, it feels real good to not be a bully and to be happy and love people. So I have one last question.
I think I was getting emotional. I was trying to
I cry every time.
Roll eyes back.
I cry, no, just talking about crying. I cry every episode, literally. Do I not?
Well, because it's so amazing when we actually talk about it.
It feels so good. And feelings are so important. We hide from tears. I'm like, so I always ask everybody this at the end of the interviews. Mm-hmm. And the question is, now I know you're young, but if you could go back in time to a younger Solange, you can choose any time, what would you tell them?
Oh, that's good. I would say my middle school self, because I'm in high school now. I'm halfway through high school. So I'm almost done with that, but definitely middle school, because as I got more bullied in elementary school, coming 5th grade, I was like, great, I've overcome it, it's done, it's never coming again, period, I'm done, you know? And then I got into 6th grade, and I let everybody, anything and everything intimidate me, and I became, as such a big person, I felt so small, and I stayed so quiet. And I definitely look back to presentations I did then, and I was so different in 6th grade and 7th grade because I let other people, what they say about me and how they went about my life, affect me. And I didn't tell anybody. And it caused me, which a lot of people don't know why, but it caused me to actually, I was in the office 24/7. I would go to class, and then I would walk through the private doors of the office and stay in the office. So if I wouldn't go to lunch, I wouldn't hang outside in the morning, you know, like I would stay hidden because I was so afraid. I was so afraid of the environment. I was so afraid of everybody because of what I went through. I didn't want to go through it again. And I don't know, it just really freaked me out. So I stayed hidden, and then my sisters came in when I was in the 8th grade, and I was like, great, I'm going to be this overprotective sister who doesn't want anybody to touch my siblings, and I can't even be outside.
Right.
You know what I mean? So then I got to high school, and I was like, you know what? You can't keep hiding from everybody. I couldn't just continue to stay hidden and not, like you said, let my emotions be free. So freshman year, I faced every single fear I had, and I would walk around with a stress ball sometimes because I would be so scared walking past people in the halls, and I stayed outside, and now I can't imagine that I let those people take me over and let me be afraid. You know what I mean? Like, it's so crazy to think that I let them do that to me, and they got the satisfaction they wanted, and I had a miserable middle school, you know? So I would definitely change my middle school years. I wish I could go back.
So you would tell yourself not stay hidden?
Yeah, not stay hidden, and to not let other people say affect me. And I know that I, like how you said, Papa D calls me a mini house, but I don't say it a lot, but I really do relate to a lot you say. I do. Because even the presentation, I forgot where you guys did. You guys had very many people. You guys had to travel to go there. I cannot remember.
Chicago.
Right. I watched it, and I listened in, and I had called Papa D to like listen on feedback, and I was looking back in on your guys' stories and everything, and I really do relate to you a lot, which is crazy because, you know, I'm in the same business with you, and I work with you, but it's like everything you say is like, yeah, I know what that is. I've been there, and, you know, and I definitely think that taking some of the stuff you say with just being more positive and, like, letting myself be more free, I wouldn't let other people hold me back. But now I'm so confident that you wouldn't think anybody could hold me back, but,
right.
You know,
but you know what? If you didn't go through that experience, you wouldn't be so passionate about what you do.
Right.
So that's really important. And I think what's also very important is to remind everyone, nothing can affect you unless you let it. Nothing. Nothing.
Oh, I let it. I let it affect me.
And we have. And that's okay. What you need to do right now is go back and say, I forgive you. Go say it right now. Say, I forgive you, younger Solange.
To myself?
Yes, say it.
I forgive you, younger Solange.
Because it's okay. It's okay
Right.
that you went through that. You have to, I think that's a huge thing, and I learned that recently going through doing something called inner child work, where you don't realize that you hold on to those things, and you actually, you can resent yourself, certain things can be triggers. You have to go back and just say, you did that for a reason. You were scared because you're human. But look where we are now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that once we forgive those moments, and we all have our moments, we've all done silly things or things that maybe were moments where we weren't sticking up for ourselves the way that we now know how to.
Right.
And it's just okay. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to have those moments. And that's the number one thing we forget, and that makes us feel bad. It's like, oh, I did this, and it's regret. It's like this regret eats at us.
Exactly.
It like deteriorates us. There's no regret. Today's a new day. Right now. Right that second when I touch that, we can't go back to that moment. Like, we're in the present, baby. That doesn't matter anymore. We learn from it. Everything, just the way I like to look at life is just everything's a learning experience. Because we can't go back. But we can move forward, right? We can continuously move forward, and learn and grow. And I think that those moments build so much character, and they make us more understanding towards other people and more empathetic. And you're such an empathetic person. So I believe that, I don't like that you went through that, of course, but I think that you went through it for a reason, because you have such a powerful story now when you're speaking at the schools. And that's why maybe you felt that way when I spoken, and you've heard certain things that I've said. It's because I've gone through things, you know what I mean? And that's just anxiety. It's anxiety, letting things get to us that don't matter, because nothing can have control of you if you don't let it. Just by the way, it's not easy. I still tell myself this every day.
Oh, it's not. It's not. It's
but
not
I'm
easy.
so happy for you coming on, sharing your truth, being the youngest person I've ever interviewed on B2B one-on-one, our youngest ambassador, who's now growing up in front of my eyes, which means I'm growing up. But I love you so much. And
I love
you're
you.
so inspiring.
Thank you.
My little
Thank you for
baby
having
doll.
me.
Of course.
Oh,
So proud of you.
thank you.
At the end, we always just give a little thumbs down and say boo to bullying. So,
Boo to bullying.